the real potential of architecture can only happen when it is widespread. When it's a movement, it's a culture. What got you here won't get you there. So if you continue to do the same thing, it won't get you far.
Yeah.
Because then people jump in.
Yeah.
The idea was, how do you keep on raising the benchmark of quality, of entertaining people through architecture? More important. They've only consumed architecture when they need the service. घर renew करवाना है, office renew करवाना है, renovate.
Correct.
You don't just consume for the sake of consuming.
Consuming.
So these videos kind of changed that. Now there is a loyal audience who's only consuming content because we love to consume content. And so now that's the beauty what internet brings. If you're clearly consistent enough and if you're willing to put your skin in the game for a very long period of time, it has to reward you. There's no reason why it won't reward you.
Hi everyone, welcome to Insyd Converse. I am architect Saumya, co-founder of Insyd, and today I have Mr. Dhwaj Shah, the founder of Buildofy. Everyone in the architecture community has at least once visited Buildofy. I'm pretty sure of it, and it will be a very interesting conversation. So let's deep dive into it. Hi Dhwaj, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
Very good, Saumya. Thank you so much for having me here. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm so happy to have you.
Same here. Looking forward to this conversation.
Great. So, Dhwaj, I was actually pretty interested in your background. Given your background in commerce and management, what brought you to the world of architecture?
So, as you rightly said, I come from a commerce background. I come from a business background. I was remotely connected to architecture. In my first job, I got into a glass processing company, which essentially sells its products to architects, interior designers, and the building industry. I entered at the base level, which is into the branding and marketing team. I came from a book publishing background even before that. I pitched them an idea that, look, why don't we come up with a book on architect? This is back in 2006. No YouTube, no Instagram, nothing was there that time. And print was still very dominant that time. So they were initially just trying to figure out how do we appeal to architects as a brand. And that's when we thought of, why don't we go through the route of. So it started off as a very brand initiative by the glass company. Eventually we realized that it's not probably the right way to look at it. So the right way to look at it is, why don't we start a publishing company? Yeah. And that's how, which is focusing on architecture and interiors, essentially publishing company, focusing exclusively on Indian architecture and design. That's how I started interacting with multiple architects across the country. Very early days, no media that time. So everything was like meeting architects, phone call, pitching them. But we started this book called 50 Beautiful Houses in India. Coffee table book. Became very successful that time. Available across leading bookshops, airports, everywhere. So from 2006 to 2013, I was rigorously interacting with architects and understanding content and architecture, but in the print format.
Okay.
In 2013, I quit. And the reason for quitting was obviously I wanted to start something of my own, but more importantly, something which is very, very scalable. If architecture is only restricted to a few thousand people, it's pointless. Then it is just another hobby business, not even a business, just a hobby that you are making money on. The real potential of architecture can only happen when it is widespread. When it's a movement, it's a culture.
Yeah.
So that's when I quit, because I thought print is not the right route and we wanted to get into digital as a segment. So doing the same thing, but through the route of digital. There was no Instagram that time. Facebook was very popular that time. This is 2013 that we are talking of. And YouTube was also there, but the way we consume content today, Instagram or YouTube, it wasn't that time. I mean, phones weren't, data was not cheap, bandwidth was not.
Yeah, I remember 1 GB they would used to charge some 300, 400 rupees. Yes.
Yes. So it was a very consumption conscious economy, content consumption conscious, basically. But we started at that time and we came up with the book. So in 2013, we started, me and my co-founder, Neetal, we started this company. Our company name is Skyboard Media. And under that, again, focusing on architectural content, but through the digital route. And we started profiling works of architects. I thought, why don't we leverage that, but show their works in a digital way, which people could easily access. We started populating. To be very honest, monetization wasn't happening. A lot of these ideas start off with the fancy that let's .com is very interesting, but to be very honest, if monetization is not figured out, it will crash. We went back print. We did 50 amazing homes in India. It was a coffee table book, like a 400 page, had the leading architects of the country featured in it. The new thing in the book was every architect whom we featured in the book, there were 50 architects, all of them we did a video interview with. Okay. Essentially, the videos were for promoting the book, which could be put up on YouTube. But through an augmented reality app, we integrated the videos as a part of the book. So if you buy the book, you can just scan any architect's page through your mobile and the video would start. That's the time. So this is 2015, which you're talking about. That's the time when we understood if architecture has to be communicated to a larger audience, it has to be through the route of videos. Can't be anything else. So 2015, we started Buildofy, the YouTube channel.
Oh, I think internet also became cheaper that time. Was
it did. Yes, it did. There was a change in government, Geo, all of it. Very internet-focused government. And
I remember using Buildofy a lot during 2017-18. So which means in 3 years only, it was able to, reach every architect. So how did you do that?
Frankly, no formula. We didn't know. It was a very uncharted territory. Whenever you're starting a business, you normally would have a precedent. Look, A, B, C company is doing in a particular way, and we could learn from them and maybe adapt a few things. Here, architecture and videos and doing it as a business, there was no precedent for us. Today also there is no precedent for us. So it was always to do something, and we were investing money that time. It was to invest money, ensure that the video is really entertaining, give it out to people. I used to test it one-to-one and show it to people that, look, what do you think is, if you can give us feedback. At a point in time, they were all architects, interior designers, students whom I had connected with on Facebook. I used to request.
Facebook, yes.
It was all Facebook. So I used to request them that, look, if you could just have a look at this 6-minute video which we've done and give us feedback. It was critical feedback. So normally people like to give critical feedback.
Yeah.
But we got a bunch of very encouraging feedback as well as critical feedback. At a point in time, I was talking to 500 people where they gave and thoroughly documented feedback, which we kept on iterating. If you're seeing 2017, 2018, the 3 years only went in iterating what we intend to do. And say, investing in video-led content, and also if you have to really come up with a particular level of quality, it doesn't come cheap.
Yeah.
The way it's cheap right now, with Instagram gives you mobile content, anybody can become a content creator.
Yeah.
YouTube needs a formal setup.
Yes.
YouTube needs quality. It was expensive. So earlier we used to go through the sponsored route. We had good brand supporting us that time that, look,
I think
as long as
and on.
Right. Yes.
Your partner.
There was Asian Paints who took the lead and then came Fenesta, who with whom our channel scaled. So it was an advantageous position for all. We as a business were setting up well. The brands used to get the brand recall, the brand building, and architects used to get a very different form of visibility.
Yes.
They were normally used to getting published in a magazine or a book or digital website. But a video was very new for them. How do I communicate my project?
Correct.
Most of them not being great away. But it picked up. People started reacting very nicely, and YouTube is a powerful engine. So that's where we are.
So till that time, how were you making money?
So we were burning money. We are even burning money now. So that doesn't stop. I don't think that investing money never stopped. That time our format was like we used to do these videos in a tight room setup. We didn't used to go on actual site. We used to do with photos.
Okay.
Editing was with the photos which they have already shot.
So
we used to shoot like multiple videos in a day. It was a very commercial logic of, how things can work out. Because survival is really crucial at that time. As and when things changed, then we kept on enhancing the quality, because what got you here won't get you there. So if you continue to do the same thing, it won't get you far.
Yeah.
Because then people will jump in.
Yeah.
The idea was, how do you keep on raising the benchmark of quality, of entertaining people through architecture? More important.
Right.
Yeah.
Your target audience, I don't think it's architects, right? It's the common public who are willing to hire an architect.
By largely, yes. So if you see, for example, the most viewed video on Buildofy is at 5 million views organically.
Oh, okay.
It is by architect Nitin Kilawala. It was also our first video, by the way. First or second video, actually. There are 5 million, there are no 5 million professionals in the country. Impossible.
Yes.
Right? And even if they're there, not everybody will watch your video. Which means what we realized in the process is there is a huge segment of homeowners who are absolutely clueless of how to find architects. Even today, they say, can we get an architecture? They don't say that I'm searching for an architect. Right. क्या हमको architecture दोगे आप? Then we tell them that, look, we are not architects. There are other firms whom we are listing. It's a very editorial led. But so you're talking about a very large population in country who has never in their life consumed architecture as content.
No.
They've only consumed architecture when they need the service. घर renew करवाना है, office renew करवाना है, renovate. You don't just consume for the sake of consuming. So these videos kind of changed that. Now there is a loyal audience who's only consuming content because we love to consume content. That. But yeah, so answering your question, they are predominantly homeowners. A very large segment of them are architects because they get to understand how other architects think.
Correct. Yes.
It's also a very good way to get updated about new projects in a entertaining, interesting way. Photos don't do so much justice.
Yes.
Beyond the point.
Drawings, exactly.
It's a very static way of consuming content. Great format, both photos and plans. But you really want to come close to the building, it's the video.
So, Dhwaj, what exactly is your business model now? Basically, where does your revenue come from?
Earlier, our business model was sponsorship-led, where content was absolutely free. Even today, YouTube is free. That's. But our revenue model was very clear that a brand has to sponsor the video. We were not in a position to invest in the video that time.
How much do you have to invest in a video? I mean, I am assuming the traveling costs, the stay costs of the team, right? And then you will have to have improvements. Yes.
There is a shoot cost. There is an edit cost. Now, the thing is, in the market, you can get it something at 1,000 rupee also and at 1 lakh rupee. There is a price point at everything. Depends on what's your aspiration and what is the level of benchmark that you want to raise. So it is an expensive process. With us, at least, it is an expensive process. Yes. But yes, I mean, now things have changed. Now Instagram gives you the ability to also, something even raw, very raw can go viral. You really don't need to be a cinematographer to make anything viral. Today, on Instagram specific. Yeah. So business model, coming to the question, business model then was sponsorship-led. Now we've pivoted to a subscription-led business model. So people consume content on YouTube or Instagram. And if they want more details, they would land on our website where they get access to premium videos, ebook, and other things. So it's a very simple content access fee model.
I come from a bias where I personally think that subscription in India is very difficult to sell. I mean,
yes.
I want to know your opinion on this.
It is very difficult. It is very difficult. There's no denial. And tougher part is to get them to renew.
First time,
however, the first time but try kar lete. Let's just see what happens. But the tougher part is to get them to renew. So then it's about how much you're willing to extend. Till what level are you willing to really, really get your skin in the game? Why we choose to be a subscription-led model is because we like to be independent so that we can choose what content we want to show. Nobody else tells us,
And
that, okay, it doesn't come from a bias. It comes from independence. Yes, making this into a viable business model is challenging, yes, but that's also what the fun part is.
yeah,
Imagine you have an X number of subscribers one day, and your business is completely led on them. Let's say, if you put out a content piece, assuming you have 1,000 people, for example, and if 10 leave because they didn't like particular content of yours, you still have 990 people's back. But in a B2B setup, which is very brand led or advertiser led, and if you have 10 brands supporting you from sponsorship perspective, even if one person goes, it will have a huge impact on your model. And hence we choose to be a subscription led business model. People don't pay. It's not easy to get them paid. That's where consistency becomes good. You have to invest in quality. You can't say, यार धंधा नहीं हो रहा है, थोड़ा 19-20 वीडियो डाल दे. Can't do that. In fact, you have to keep on doing that.
All right. I think I got my answer here. Okay, so assuming that the resources are limited for an architect, how should an architect choose between Buildofy versus social media versus meta ads versus PR?
Right. So magazines and PR is one segment.
Right.
Because almost all magazines operate now like PR firms. That's one. Your social media is very interesting game now with Meta, especially Meta. Almost every architecture firm now has an Instagram page.
Yes.
Almost. Unless they are very, very run of the mill, we're just existing and surviving, then it's fine. But otherwise, everybody has an Instagram page. No architect has to invest with us. It's all free for them.
It was free for them.
I mean, we don't charge any architect, neither for the shoot, neither to get featured. It's all editorially led. There are three investments that happen at our side, right? Money, time, and effort.
Yeah.
And all the three very extensive. So even if a shoot is happening in a day or two, let's say, the editing is taking a month per video. It's a very labor-intensive, craft-intensive process. Architect doesn't need to choose. I mean, they don't need to invest with us at all. Everything is free for them.
But Dhwaj, why don't you monetize this? I mean, you must have your own reasons. I mean, you can easily make money from this, right?
Very easily we can make money because now the channel is popular. People are paying money to get featured in popular Instagram pages or YouTube, wherever they are.
Right.
We want to maintain the editorial integrity because the moment we start charging to people to get featured, it will lose its charm. It will become just another business.
And then more power to choose.
It will go because it's very money driven. No? I mean, if somebody is paying you an X amount to showcase their project on your platform, how do you say no? How do you say, look, I don't like your project and it's not suitable to our audience? Because then the person might say that, look, we are willing to pay you money. So again, a tougher call. So on one side, it is a subscription-led business, which is a tough call. On the other side, content creation is also free. It's not chargeable to architects.
Yeah. Here, the effort is from your end. There, in content, the effort is from the architect.
Correct. But again, so they don't pay. We don't ask. There is no charge to any architect ever in the history of 10 years. We are in the 10th year today. Not a single architect has been charged money. Never. So that's what it is. So they don't have to invest with us. Hence, we don't come कि social media में choose करें. It's a free thing.
Basically, now I'm thinking कि अच्छा काम करो.
So as long as it is meeting a particular level of architectural quality,
correct.
The story is interesting, some really interesting design is there, it's a 100%, we would jump on documenting it.
Yes. Correct.
Love to. Every project that comes in today, we are equally excited to document. Every project is in there.
Nice. So, do architects who showcase with you report an increase in sales or lead generation also?
95% of featured architects.
Oh, okay. And how do you... Okay, please continue.
All the architects. Okay. Not a single media platform can match today the reach which a Buildofy video gets. This is not being told with any level of ego or arrogance. I'm just talking base facts.
Yeah.
If a video is reaching 1 million views organic without us advertising or boosting anything, even all media houses or anybody combined also getting that level of reach is difficult. Now, obviously, when people are this large level of people are consuming content, they are consuming with a specific intent, because these are not your stand-up comedy videos which you just entertain yourself, right? You are coming with a very specific purpose. What is the purpose? I'm a homeowner. I want to build homes. I want to build a home for myself, my family. Landed up accidentally on your channel, let's say through search or however. Some video is of a traditional South Indian couple. Some is of a very upmarket modern Delhi home or something like that. There are different choices, different options that are offered to people. Hence, and now I start connecting with you on a content level. Me as a homeowner starts connecting with you on a content level. But obviously, after knowing the design, I like this kind of a home, but now who has designed this home? That's where they come on our website, they get in touch with the architect, business happens. So, again, that is also not charged to the architects. They get inquiries for free while we continue with our love of showcasing content. So yeah, everybody gets. There's not a single architect who's not got business because of our video.
And
because it is reaching broad audience.
And do you reach out to them again asking what are the new numbers now? I mean,
So we interact very closely with all the people that we are featuring, and we get to know through them. These are all closed door conversations which happen with them. We get to know. They say that, look, we have had chances of architects where they've told that when it goes on YouTube, my phone doesn't stop ringing. And everybody wants to make a house somehow. There is an architect in South who's actually set up a separate unit only to create designs and send to people. Now, he's somebody who's based in South. Now, he's getting inquiries from homeowners in Jabalpur. He doesn't intend to service them by literally traveling, but he can always make designs and monetize. It depends upon how much the architect is intending to leverage this platform.
And you were talking about some criteria which you in mind when you select project. Can you elaborate on those criteria?
So these criteria is just like any other design platform, any other, be it online or be it a print publication. It's a very subjective criteria. You're looking at the project first. It's very merit based. We don't look at the architecture firm and then decide. We look at the project first and then look at the architecture firm. The project has to be interesting. The space has to be interesting. There has to be something unique in the design which is there to offer. Then comes the architect, very later on. Now then, the architecture firm would be a very new, upcoming, unheard of, or it would be an absolutely established popular firm. But the criteria are very, very subjective. You can't literally say it has to be luxurious, it has to be this, nothing like that. We showcase homes which are on 300 square feet plot to 3 acres as well. So, it's that wide a variety to show to people. The common factor is, does the design solve something interesting? Does it solve a problem? If yes, we would love to document.
So far, I am assuming you have done at least 1,000 videos, if not more than that?
Close to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you have a rough idea in mind, like the type of firms, like, were they very well-established firms or were they mostly small firms? Like, just rough numbers in mind. I'm just curious to know.
It's an even spread. There are a lot of well-established firms also whom we showcase, whose work we've showcased. A lot of firms who don't even have a website. So simple directory page somewhere on Google, they don't even have a website. Very bare minimum Instagram following, and whose videos have gone viral.
Okay.
Yeah. And so now that's the beauty what internet brings. If you're clearly consistent enough and if you're willing to put your skin in the game for a very long period of time, it has to reward you. There's no reason why it won't reward you. It's just that most people break in that process.
I mean, yes, it is challenging.
Yes.
You took you almost 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
When you conceptualize Buildofy to make what it is today, so
Right.
not everyone can still stay in the game with the same energy, with the same quality.
Yes.
It's difficult.
Yes, yes. It is challenging, and it's completely okay to drop in between. There is no denial. It's just that if you want to stay in the game, there are certain things that you have to, like any other enterprising challenge. I'm sure you would also be. So I'm sure because when you're choosing, let's say as an entrepreneur, you're choosing to stay in the game.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going. I mean, you're not. It's not every day is a Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a challenging day.
I think not every Sunday is a Sunday. I think that's a statement.
Right. Even a Sunday is not a Sunday.
Yeah. Also, I told you about this. We were talking about this. India is a DAO land, like daily active users land, where majority population is not monetizable. Every founder you talk to complains that subscriptions don't work. And you told me about your subscription model and how you were able to crack that. But I would actually want to dive a little deeper into it. I mean, I'm still struck in the sense that, how are you able to survive? I mean, I understand it was a subscription model before, but now you say it's not a subscription model. You don't charge architects, and it takes a hefty amount to create these kind of videos. So how are you surviving?
Correct. Earlier, a sponsorship model. In a sense, architects never sponsored us.
Yeah.
There were advertisers who were sponsoring me, Asian Paints or Fiesta and Grohe or these companies. Now we are a subscription-based business model, which means essentially homeowners, architects, or even students come on the website, swipe their cards, and access premium content, premium videos, ebook, and things like that.
Ebook also.
Yeah, ebook also. So every project has a PDF ebook on our website where we give out details on the project. So, detailed drawings from the architects, photographs, material palette details, things like that. Somebody gets a complete understanding of what the project is by landing on Buildofy. So the same project could be there on 4 other websites, let's say, but we can guarantee you it's in the most detailed format on our website because that level of work has gone into it. That level of investment of time, money, effort has gone into it. So that's where it is. At the moment, it is a self-funded enterprise taking care of itself. The costs are being taken care of by the income which is being generated through subscription, and which is what motivates us to create better content every day. Yeah, I mean, 5 million views on one video on YouTube. In no ways you can get 5 million paid subscribers. It's out of question. It's a negligible amount of people who would eventually come and trust you. That, okay, look, I'm willing to give you my vote through my card. Let's see what you have to offer. And if you're not able to keep them attracted for the duration of subscription, it's very easy to drop out.
Your subscription is monthly based or yearly based?
We have 2 plans, monthly and annual. Most people choose annual.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because we come up with content consistently. So there are 8 new projects being broadcasted every month.
Oh,
in a year. Yes. So video plus ebook, 8 a month, which comes up to 100 a year.
It requires a big team to do this, right?
Yes.
How big is the team at Buildofy?
We're a lean team. We are a team of 15 people right now, including me and Neetal. So yeah, that's what it is. It's a lean team.
People, I would say.
Yeah. We are really blessed to have a great team working. Again, all young architects who graduated, did not want to pursue practicing architecture.
Yeah.
Wanted to have alternate forms of architecture. But now what happens is architecture journalism is one area which is gaining popularity. But predominantly architecture journalism is understood to be writing. So writing, journalist.
Maybe it's not critical writing, right? I mean,
Correct, it's content writing.
Content writing.
Called as press kit journalism. Architect ने एक photos और ये भेज दिया, उसको refine करके डाल दिया. That is not what we call as journalism.
Correct.
I mean, unless you're not visiting the project, unless you're not deep diving with the architect, understanding literally what the context was, and just putting out a fancy written blog out there is not journalism, it's content package. So journalism is when you dive deep. And that's what we are trying to do. We are lucky to have really good team and people working, who are interested in the alternate line of marketing.
Okay, Dhwaj, I think I had only these many questions for you. I think we can wrap up now. Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found Converse valuable, you can subscribe to the podcast on YouTube and Spotify. You can find all past episodes and know more about us on Insyd.ai. See you in the next episode.